Skripochka will be the first out of the hatch of the Pirs docking compartment. The spacewalk actually technically begins with the opening of the hatch to Pirs, unlike a U.S. spacewalk out of the Quest airlock that is measured from battery power on the spacesuits to airlock repress. The Russian spacewalks are measured from hatch open to hatch close. There will be a series of cables that will be routed and connectors that will be mated for the Molniya Gamma experiment to be activated. Of course, this all taking place on the large conical end of the Zvezda service module on the Russian segment of the International Space Station. Once the Molniya Gamma experiment is complete, the second task for the day will be the installation of another experiment called the radiometria experiment. The radiometria experiment is designed to collect information that will be useful in the forecasting of seismic activity and to help in earthquake predictions back on Earth. The radiometria experiment will be installed on a portable workstation on the port side of the large diameter section of the Zvezda service module. And again, cables will be hooked up, connectors will be hooked up, and testing will begin out of the Russian Mission Control Center in Korolyov outside of Moscow. Again, as you can see from this animation, Kondratiev, as extravehicular crew member number 1, will be wearing the suit bearing the red stripes. Oleg Skripochka will be wearing the suit bearing the blue stripes today. Once the radiometria experiment is hooked up, there will be one item that will be jettisoned today, a small foot restraint called the Ferrazond foot restraint. That will be jettisoned in a retrograde fashion, so there's no potential for recontact with the International Space Station. That foot restraint has outlived its usefulness, and it is an aging component on the Russian segment of the International Space Station, so it will be discarded. Once again, you're seeing the various tasks associated with the hookup of these two scientific experiment packages on the Russian segment of the International Space Station that will be the hallmark of today's spacewalk by Dmitry Kondratiev and Oleg Skripochka. This is the trajectory of the jettisoning of that foot restraint, the Ferrazond foot restraint that I mentioned a moment ago, just to show you the retrograde jettison trajectory that will be provided as Kondratiev and Skripochka discard that item. Again, no potential for recontact with the International Space Station. Once that's complete, the final task of today's planned 6-hour spacewalk will be the retrieval of two panels of experiments called Komplast panels from the exterior of the Zarya module of the International Space Station. Those panels contain materials that have been exposed to space for a period of time, part of an international suite of experiments looking for analysis on the best materials that can be produced in the future to build long-duration spacecraft. Those Komplast panels will be inserted into a special container that Kondratiev and Skripochka will bring outside of the Pirs docking compartment and mount on a handrail, and the panels of experiments will be brought back inside the International Space Station for return to Earth at a future time. Again, as you can see in this animation, how the cabling is routed for the removal of these Komplast panels as the final scheduled task of today's spacewalk. Again, those panels a suite of experiments that have been exposed to the microgravity environment for some time will be brought inside the International Space Station in a container by Kondratiev and Skripochka as the spacewalk draws to a close, a scheduled spacewalk of about 6 hours in duration. Kondratiev and Skripochka are completing the purging of their suits, ready to depressurize the Pirs docking compartment airlock. Everything on track.